So how are you, brand stalwarts? How is this evening treating you? I know that's a very interesting session, right? A lot of data which you had, right? Now, if might be some of these aspects will be a little bit repeating, which you just saw, but still what we are going to talk about today from Ayata is that what are the imperatives for your sustainable fashion, right? So we'll talk about the challenges in three areas you are all concerned about. One is growth, one is operational excellence, and customer experience. We'll talk about the solution to the challenges because else why you'll be sitting here, right, listening to us. We'll also talk about a little bit of advantage which you have with Ayata Commerce, and there are some surprise for the brand. So hold on your breath till the last, part of my presentation. Now, yeah, so the first challenge which you always have in nowadays, right, in the fashion, is fragmented demand, right? This fragmented demand is very different from your regular market variability. You have got this because of, unpredictable, scattered, and volatile customer behavior. The demand forecasting, accuracy in fashion industry is anyway lower that as compared to other industry as such because of the high volatile nature, of the fashion and the trend that you have in the fashion industry. And on top of that, you have got factors like, as I said, unpredictable customer behavior. You have got technology innovations, platforms coming in and disrupting your business, like, for example, the chatbots and etc. You have the new formats of business, your competitors coming in, let's say D2C coming in and etc. Right? And you have also got factors like macro factors like geopoliticals and etc. We saw a pandemic, hitting you. So those are the factors which make this phenomena fragmented demand even more critical and dangerous for your growth, right? The next one is out of stock and stock latency. So if you see, the problem is that, for example, I go to sometimes Zudio, and in Zudio I find maximum L and XL for my t-shirt, for an example, and M is missing. The main reason is that there is a latency on your inventory at the store level. And the reason it's happening is only because the nth level of data, the nth level of stock data which is available in the store, it's not available or it's not integrated back with the systems. And generally, we talk about around 65% of inventory accuracy in fashion industry. Whereas there is always a scope to go to around 98.6%, and the worldwide standard says the inventory accuracy should be around 97%. So that's where the challenge comes in. The other one which is hitting very hard for your revenue growth, I'm sure you will agree, who deals with a lot of the promise to order, which is the available to promise from your brand to your customer. Right? Today the customer is expecting 1 hour delivery, same day delivery, 4 hours delivery, right? You promise that to the customers, and there are various reasons that your ATP, available to promise calculation, is not being done in the real time, and that's where you have a problem. You have the lower campaign ROI. That's another problem which hits your revenue growth. And the basic reason it does is because you have regional variances, you have cultural barriers, which is affecting the mindset of the customers, and that's why they are not your campaign is not affecting their mindset, and they are not turning to your buyers. So at the end of the day, you have a low ROI from your campaign, right? And you also have your lack of customer loyalty. Now, generally, a customer loyalty in fashion says a customer who buys once in 3 months, that's a good customer loyalty. That's not happening because of a lot of choices. Customer is switching, is jumping the brands, right? And that's which is affecting is your customer lifetime value. You calculate your customer lifetime value for your brand to be sustainable, to be successful, and that's where it's getting hit. Right? As well as you have the low conversion ratio and average order value. Various reasons, not standardized SEO, not effective SEO. You can see approximately 10.2% of adding to the cart, and out of that 79% being cart addendum happening in India, particularly in Indian fashion world. And what's happens is, and the reasons, the factors generally factor to those cart abandonment is factors like complex checkout process, high value for delivering products. Approximately 55% dropouts happen because of the high value of delivering products, and 30% happen because there is a trust factor towards your brand. So you need to take care of all these things, right? Now, next we move on the operational efficiency barriers. Interestingly, you have the overstock inventory as well as just give me a minute. Yeah, you have the overstock inventory. So the data says the retail and e-commerce market, the overstock market is approximately 50 to 70,000 crore INR. That's the market we are talking about. And it's as overstock inventory cost is as high as 30% in the fashion industry. That's the data, that's the problem which you are dealing with. Generally, overstock happens from seasonal demands. It happens from fashion trends as well as the high product returns also. Those are the main three factors which which basically generates. And there are challenges related to overstock inventory. For example, you have to shell out more storage cost. You have to, because of more storage space, you have to more logistic cost and so forth and so on. You have the sustainability concerns also. Now, many government today are making out a rule that you cannot dispose of your overstock inventory, and that's where you have a problem related to sustainable concerns also, right? Of course, then we come to the manual processes. Sorry. Yeah. So our research says approximately 30% of your productivity gets lost if your processes are not automated and you have manual intervention in the processes. Of course, prone to human errors, that's given. And the third one is a siloed system. So when you have siloed systems, you have difficulties in collaboration. Systems are not talking to each other. You have difficulties in collaborating in the departments. So you have less visibility in your overall operations. It reduces your efficiencies also. Now, the third one is very interesting, which is your customer experience blockers. I'm sure, as fashion brands, you are very sensitive to your customer experience, right? Now, if you see your customer experience blockers, the first one which you have on the board is the brand consistency. So whatever channel you are an offline, you're an online, you're an app, your brand should be consistent from an outside-in perspective, which means your customers, when you're viewing your brand, should see the brand seamlessly. Should your brand have a consistent view? So be it your pricing, be it your brand aesthetics or structure or availability of your merchandise, that should be seamless across all the channels. The next one is the heterogeneous path. Today, the customers are so much empowered with technology that they do not follow a linear path to the purchase. From discovery to purchase and purchase to advocacy, they follow a very heterogeneous path. Approximately, our data says approximately 71% of your Indian fashion industry customers, they are researching products online before they buy offline. Right? So that's the kind of percentage which you have in terms of the heterogeneous path, right? Then you have the overload of choices. Of course, it's explainable. I don't have to spend time on that. And you have the post-purchase gap also. Are you really following your customer after the purchase is being done? So, are you there a part of your customer's lifestyle? That means, is your brand be with your customer digitally? That's the question you need to ask, right? And if you don't do that, then you have a challenge of repetitive customers, right? Or loyal customers. The next one which you have is the tech-savvy customers, because today, the customers have, as I was saying, they have the delivery, same-day delivery expectation, virtual trials, buy online, pick up in store, and blah, blah. So you need to invest on the right technology, and that's why technology investment, technology forums have become so important for all the fashion brands today, right? Now, having talked about the problem, let's talk about the solutions, right? Because, as I said, if I don't give you some solutions bit, probably you'll not be listening to me anymore, right? So let me talk about the solutions. So for the revenue growth, extremely important is demand sensing. If you remember the problem which I said, which is fragmented demand, to address a problem like fragmented demand, the traditional demand forecasting methodologies are not sufficient. they are falling apart. So you need a phenomena called demand sensing, right? And what you do to demand sensing is, apart from the data which you are using for traditional demand forecasting, like your sales, history and etc., you need to dig into your past data, you need to dig into your every nth level of data, right? Even the seasonal changes, the regulations coming on and etc. And along with that, you need to use separate methodologies for, to address the demand sensing, right? And your supply chain team should be aware of those methodologies, should be doing those right facts to have demand sensing so that you can address that fragmented demand. For example, a Noida-based, they are present in this event. A Noida-based brand called IBA Crafts. They are using, the next phenomena, which is called just-in-time inventory. So just-in-time inventory is absolutely related to demand sensing or managing fragmented demand. What you do is, generally, ideally speaking, you don't have to depend on the inventory buffer, which you used to do. People who does inventory management knows how industry buffers is important for the day-to-day rule. So you adapt industry buffer as per the need. You don't keep a fixed industry buffer. And that's where the term called just-in-time inventory is coming up. And as I said, Noida-based brand IBA Crafts, they are using it, just in the right way. The second one, which comes up, is predictive analytics. Now, this term has become a de facto standard in the industry. People use it sometimes in terms of AI, in terms of ML, but what it does is that brands can achieve as much as 20% reduction in their inventory cost and almost 50% improvement in their demand forecasting accuracy if you use productive analytics for allocation optimization or customer segmentation. Just to give an example, Myntra is using predictive analytics for their allocation optimization or to handle high volume orders over there, right? And also for their demand forecasting, Myntra is already using it, and they have seen a phenomena upgrade of 25 to 27%. Endless aisle, the next one. Again, a very important subject for fashion world, because people, like I said, I go to Zudo and I don't find a medium size. What we do is that it would be nice to have a store associate or a kiosk to browse the same product online and then order the same product in the store and get it delivered to my home. That's what is called endless aisle. People like Pantaloons, for an example, is using endless aisle to suggest products based on the, whatever the inquiries are coming up in their store. As well as Tanishq is using, endless aisle for browsing. From one store, you can browse products or articles from the other stores, and you can also do virtual, consulting with that store using endless aisle. So that's a good example of endless aisle being used. The next one is GenAI-based product recommendation. Again, Agio is using it. Fab India is using it. Brands like Fab India, even Jaipur brand, because they deal in very ethnic stuff, they are using it. And GenAI are really useful for those kind of brands, ethnic, niche brands, because it not only helps to generate the relevant product information, but at the same time, it helps on your SEO also, right? Of course, AI-based recommendation. Myntra is a current example. I think they have achieved around 35% more productivity or more selling when they have got AI-based recommendations. And you have the real and near-time ATP calculation. So what you need to use is a phenomena called distributed order management, right? Please note this. This is going to be an industry default factor in the next, I would say, within 12 months. If you are really serious about fulfilling promises to your customer, you need to use a DOM, as a platform, distributed order management. Me and my team, my innovation head is also here. We can discuss with you if you have more queries on, DOM. Moving to operational productivity, if you need to move on AI-powered, adaptive inventory management, right? The example is Zara. Zara is a big example who is using the same phenomena. They have reduced the buffer dependency in the buffer from 57% to around 39% post-pandemic. They have done it, and the inventory carrying cost has reduced by 25 to 30%. That's what you do, AI-based adaptive, inventory management. You have the logistic integration. I don't need to explain it. Today, you don't want to manage the last mile of the delivery. You offload to your 3PL logistics players, and they do that for you, right? And the third one is the process automation. which is basically business process management and automation, right? So if you want to do, if you can do it right, an example is Chumbak. I'm sure you heard about the name. So Chumbak is doing a lot of business process automation for their to manage their online stores, right? As an example, Zara is also going on a lean structure. What they have done is that they have applied BPM and BPA for their production line. As a result, they're able to produce 11,000 garments annually, right? 11,000 articles Zara is producing annually, as compared to its competitors producing 3 to 4,000 only. Right? Now, if we move to the solutions for CX excellence, unified commerce. We heard about omni-channel a lot in the last, but the world is moving to something called unified commerce, right? And to have unified commerce, you need to make your online and offline as seamless as possible. You need to have the data connectivity, as I was talking about integration systems, right? If you for brands, what it most matters for the brand, because every brick and mortar functions of your brand actually work as one unit when you go for unified commerce. Please remember, this is not e-commerce. This is unified commerce. It's completely different. It's every aspect of your business, online, offline, whatever it is, right? And it is mainly powered by a phenomena called composable commerce. There are certain platforms which are coming up, which are called composable commerce, right? You need to have the 360-degree customer profiling. So you must have invested on CRM, right? Most of you have got CRM in your system. Now, the new nuances which is coming up is CDP, Customer Data Platform. You need to basically kind of integrate them so that you have end-to-end your customer journey in front of you. You know exactly where the customer journey is moving on, and accordingly you craft your customer-facing decisions, customer experience decisions. The next one is the post-purchase engagement. In the post-purchase engagement, we talk about digital receipts, right? Digital receipts have become a very, very important part of your post-purchase engagement. And that's very important, because with the digital receipt, if you remember, I was telling you, are we following the customer after the purchase? That's where how you follow the customer in purchase, right? We have launched our platform, happy to share, we have launched our platform called Invo Tools, to actually basically manage this aspect of digital receipts, right? And that's what you do. Another way you do, customer engagement after your post-purchase is basically influencer marketing. Some of your users will become influencer, they will create the UGCs, and that's, you need to create a network with them to have a brand association with them. Then we have, of course, the live commerce, the social commerce, and real time. There are a lot of examples. If you see, you must have heard about, particularly to my women audience, you must have heard about a brand called Suta, right? So Suta is into ethnic wear saris. They use this concept, live commerce, they use this concept, storytelling fantastically, right? That's the main, mantra for their growth. They have growth almost 70% because of that. What they do, for an example, they tell stories about the weavers. They tell stories about the Indian artisans, how they're creating those saris, what is the philosophy behind creating those saris, right? And that's where when a woman wearing that sari can resonate with that brand value, that cultural value, and that's why they're ready to pay that premium price in Suta, just to give an example, right? Another example is Sold Store. I'm sure you have heard about it. They have got a pop culture. So what they do is that they say they're into pop culture, merchandising. So they have got these, token sharing mechanism with their own members. So they share the tokens, they gain some points, and then they get featured on the website, right? So that's another example which you have from live commerce as well as social commerce. And a last brand which I should be talking about is a very niche brand from Jaipur. It's called Putari. I don't know if I've heard about it or not. Amazingly, Putari, just to let you know, Putari is scoring more than 90% of their revenue only from Instagram. So you can imagine, right? The power of social commerce. Sustainability, CO2 tracking. I wish I got more time to talk about it. Believe me, in the next 9 months, not even 12 months, this is going to change your brand heavily. So please think about sustainability. You need to provide every bit of information to your customer about your carbon footprint related to your brand. If I'm buying merchandise from your brand, how much carbon footprint that brand, that particular item is living on this earth, and how you're reducing it. That's all about sustainability, right? So that's another one which you're talking about it. Yeah. And just wanted to give you a glimpse that why Ayata and how we are enabling it. We are working on a lot of brands, around the world, fashion brands around the world. So we have this concept called, commerce connected. We have these 6, elements to it: technology, data, people, experience, process, and channels. So what we do is that we help your brand to put into this, the aspect of your brand to put into this framework. And then we help you to create a visionary approach for your solution, what you need, a business solution, what you need to achieve either your business goal, aspect business goal, or to solve your business challenge, right? Again, we are there on the floor, happy to take you through. Interest of time, I don't want to bore you too much with our framework, but that's what we do day in and day out with fashion brands, right? And the other very interesting one, which is finding, we are finding it very interesting with our customers, is called digital maturity model or merchant maturity model. What we do is that we assess your maturity, your investments into different blocks like technical, business, operational, and customer experience. And within the customer experience, we basically take into these areas and we score you. That out of 5, where do you score in social? Where do you score in mobility? Where do you score in online? Where do you score? From our expertise, we have got that benchmark. And depending on the score and where you want to move, then we lay the roadmap for that, right? Let's say you are the score level 3, right? As per working around 10 plus brands in India today, most of them are at a score level 3 and they want to move to score level 5. So what they should be doing, we do that, right? And here comes a surprise for all of you. So any one of us, of you, of my Industry Connects friends here, you are interested to engage with us, we are offering a free business design workshop for you. The first 10 brands who are interacting with us. Absolutely free. Not to worry about the commercial part. But what we'll do is interesting. We'll access your current state of business, right? Of course, you have to allow us. Then we understand your revenue growth aspiration, your OpEx challenges, and where you want to grow. Then leverage those Ayata Commerce to craft the solution roadmap, which we'll do, which I talked about it. And at the end of the day, we'll jointly define KPIs so that we can jointly monitor your progress, your success periodically, right? So that's all from my side.